The fallen state is amazing. Subscribe now.
Like 90 going north, 90 going north. Keep running around like 90 going north. It's so amazing to see it, bro. Insane people screaming and yelling like 90 going north.
Welcome to the Fallen State. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Today I have with me Roseanne Barr. That's amazing. Roseanne is a comedian, Emmy Award winning actress, and just an all-around person. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. My friend Anomaly came on here with you, and he said, "Oh, you'll really enjoy going on there." So
we're going to have a hoot nanny of a time.
Okay.
You and I.
All right.
And but first, I need to know a few things. Do you think that most people are in a fallen state? The show is called The Fallen State.
Yeah, I know.
And do you think most people are in a fallen state?
I do.
You do.
Yeah.
And what does that mean to you?
They've given up the power of original thought, connection with other humans, and their divine spark.
Yeah.
And they're under mind control. control, and I've been talking about mind control for decades.
It's
and
so amazing.
It's working though,
Yeah.
ain't it? It's working.
It sure is. I was telling about we have.
Except for one thing.
What's that?
Well, you know, I study the Bible and all that, and I know you do too. I'm a Jew. And in one of our holy books, it says, arrogance is always connected to ignorance.
Yeah.
There's no way either of them can't exist without the other one. They're the very same thing. So when you see the media mind control and the arrogance with which it's smeared,
Yes.
you know that that's ignorance.
That's right.
And also they always have, you know, in Jewish books about face reading, it always says that they always have the sneer. They always
Yeah.
have a little sneer like this.
They do. They're mean.
Well, obviously they're uneducated and,
That's right.
you know, they got a
That's
sneer
amazing.
of looking towards working people
When did
who
that?
do their work for them.
When I grew up on a plantation down in
Yeah,
Alabama
I
under
heard,
Jim Crow laws
under
and stuff,
Jim Crow.
and we were not brainwashed then. When did the brainwashing start? You think?
Well, real brainwashing's been around for forever. And, you know, if you look at Egyptian stuff, one of their god's names is Thoth, and that means thought. So it's always been about the power of thought and speech and how to keep you in power
Yeah.
if you control it. And so they have whole sciences built on it. But I think that it started in the United States. I think it was really just starting, well, it kind of always was here, but it went technological, I think, with General Eisenhower when he gave that speech on television. Okay, that's what it is, television.
That's what did it.
And when I was little, I used to know that, you know, and I was like, I want to be on television. 'Cause that's
Amazing.
where it all happens, you know.
When I remember back to the civil rights movement when most black people had a lot of sense. They thought for themselves. They worked for themselves. They got married. We didn't have black leaders or anybody leading us. God led us. And then the civil rights movement started, and it seemed like, not seemed like, but that's when black people gave up their freedom of thought, of thinking or speaking or doing what's right, live right, get married.
Well, there's a
and do
lot
the
of
right
books
thing.
written about that, and of course I can't remember the ambassador's name either, but our ambassador to the UN
Yeah.
gave some.
Something I don't get about people when you meet people like that, when you actually go out and meet people and they tell you their stories, you can tell that it's real. You can always tell when people are putting spin on it because he's talking from a first-person perspective, and you can tell he's telling the truth as well. Like actually being there in that time. There's so much BS out there, but no, he's real.
Speech about how
So she.
maybe he didn't give a speech on it. I can't remember exactly the details, but
Reminds me of like
it was
crazy
about
people.
removing the father from the home.
That was the worst thing that could happen.
That's what first
Yeah.
went
Crazy
wrong
people.
in that movement.
Lyndon B.
Every time
Johnson
the
offered
left
them
has
that.
a movement,
Yeah,
they bring down the people they're, quote, saving.
that's right.
It's
They
funny,
absolutely
that's
do.
mind control.
Lyndon B. Johnson brought in government
Right.
for blacks during the civil rights movement. But what was sad about it is that the so-called leaders of the civil rights movement approved of it. I remember them signing that it's okay to give blacks welfare, but they couldn't have a father in the home. And it's just been downhill ever since that. But we're working on changing that now.
Every time where there's a revolution on earth, the first thing they do is take the men away as workers to
Yeah.
another place, and that leaves the women and children vulnerable.
What is it about men that they attack the men first?
Well, because the men will, if they're men,
Yeah,
they'll protect the women and children.
Yeah.
That's what a culture and a society and a tribe, I come from a real tribal bunch,
Yeah.
that's how it is. You get rid of the men first, and then you force the women to become kind of, what's the word, anathema. The women then have to be the warriors, and that isn't good for raising kids.
That's
to be
for
that
sure.
way. That's not how women are supposed to be.
I say that there is a spiritual order to life, and that order is God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children. The love and the order come from above, and when they remove the black man, it went to hell in a handbasket.
Well, I want
And
to
the
talk to you
same
about
thing
exactly
happened.
what you mean, so we can be on the same page,
Yeah.
because I like definitions. But what do you say? What do you mean in exactly when you're saying the man over the woman? Because I'm a woman, and that makes me nervous.
You don't like having a man over you?
At certain times at night, I do. but I mean, what do you mean by that? I'm asking you what do you mean.
So,
An authoritarian, mean guy? No woman's going to marry up with a guy like that. I mean, unless they're
no,
damaged.
real men, or a real man is not in control like that.
Okay, good.
A real man is a light unto the family and to the
Right,
wife.
I believe that.
He guides
Like
her.
my boyfriend, he's like that. He says, like, when we talk at this same subject, you know, because it's one of my favorite subjects to talk about, obviously. He says, well, the strongest thing a man can do is to, show weakness at certain times. When
Show
it's
weakness?
Called for, when it's called for.
When is there a time for a man to be weak, to show weakness?
Well, he doesn't really say weakness. I can't remember the word.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's
I can
he's
tell
like,
you to dump him.
No. He's saying like to allow the woman to. I can't remember his words. I should call him up. But what he means is like when the man just loves the woman back to sanity rather than rebukes and
That's right.
abuses her.
When a man loved God or loved what's right with all his heart, soul, and might, along with nothing else, he's able to bring the woman back to sanity.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's for sure.
And
but
he's
the problem
done that for me, you know. So I do
good.
love him, and to me, he's the perfect man.
Right on.
And you know, here's my thing. I've raised 2 men, and I try to raise 2 alpha men, you know, because that's why I like when you talk about that. It is about the mother.
Yeah.
And I've my whole life tried to first understand what in the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
And second, get them to stand up for, you know, to the woman. And, you know, my one son, he's
That's
divorced
right.
now because I ruined their marriage, and he's mad, you know, still at me, and she hates me and whatever. But, you know, I wasn't going to see a woman tear down my son.
That's right.
And I wasn't going to stand for it. I'm like, bitch, I was here first. I was here first, and you know, I'm the alpha woman in this family, and I don't care what and who, you don't talk to my son like that.
That's right.
And I told my son the same thing. Well, you know, if you're going to say those kind of things to her, of course she's going to say them kind of things back to you. You got to do it right. You're coming from a victim place, and you're letting her be over you, and that's never going to work.
It never works.
See, that's why when I watch you, I'm like, I totally get it. What
Yeah.
you're saying about that, I agree.
Yeah, it never works. Speaking of men, you prefer a strong man, right? A real man, a strong man.
Well, now, yeah, because
So-
it's like he minds his own damn business. If I can do what I want, you know. Like I have an obsession with cleaning and stuff, and
Oh, good.
my kids make fun of me. Everybody makes fun of me, but he'll just go, knock yourself out, do it, you know, do it, and you know, I just like to clean.
That's
things.
right.
He doesn't try.
I gotta
to
ask you
fix me
about
like
one
that.
man that you were with. I don't know him, but he appeared to be weak when I see him. That guy, Arnold, remember him? Did you marry to? He used to be an
I
actor.
try to think of that.
You don't remember Arnold?
Oh,
I saw him on the airplane one day.
Oh, Tom Arnold?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You remember
I do
him?
remember him.
He appeared. I saw him on I was traveling
You're
from.
trying to get me shot.
What do you mean?
You're going to make me say things about Tom Arnold.
But he seems so boyish and childish and
Yeah, he is.
immature.
Oh, he is, you're right.
What was it like living with a weak man like that?
Well, at that time, I was thinking that a woman could fix a man, you know.
Oh,
See, So I thought, you know, like a lot of women, I'm thinking, well, here's my project. It'll keep me from cleaning.
That's right.
And he was my special project, and you know, then you find out,
It's not going to work.
it's not working.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, the woman you try to, you know, be with a man and not a tantrum throwing, big fat baby that, you know, his legs shake all the time and he's sneaking coke behind your back.
Amazing.
You know, you don't like that.
No woman like that. Do you agree with me that a lot of men are beta males now?
Oh yeah, they're like almost girls.
Yeah. Isn't that like
really,
amazing?
it's like what? It's like, yeah, they're not attractive. Like when I go to movies or watch movies, and it's like I'm like, girl.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me like get attracted to them.
That's right.
I want to see a real guy that I know underneath, you know, my favorite male fantasy or whatever. I like the strong, silent type, and you know, because that's like I like subdued passion. I don't like the you know. I'm
no woman does. To
it's
be
like
honest.
don't take my. You know, they're going like, Daddy, look at me, because that's how we are, you know, I am. But when they're up there, Daddy, look at me, I'm like, get back.
That's right. I always tell guys who are like that when they have a woman, it's like two lesbians together. The man acting like a woman. A woman don't want another woman like that. She want a real man.
Well,
so,
some women, they do like a feminine man.
A beta male?
Well, yeah, because then they can boss them around.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say that's all the reason.
Yeah.
So that they can control them.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to. So nobody's able to cause.
But you know what I want to say? That has a lot to do with the mother-in-law, because a lot of these women, they think they're smarter than women who've done more and are smarter than them in reality, and they just like to bring women down. They like to put themselves to bring a stronger, more intelligent, more capable, and more successful woman down.
Amazing.
Because they can't lift themselves up. So what they look around, oh, I'm going to bring her down. I'm going to look good doing it.
Why don't women tell each other the truth like you're doing now about what women are doing? I noticed that it's hard
Because
for
of mind
women.
control, they got to play their role. It's all role. It's all like imposed program.
Amazing.
And they got to do what they're told to do, and that's be a useful idiot.
Yeah.
And they're proud of it too. They're dumber than hell and proud of it. I don't
That's
like
amazing.
people that are arrogant and ignorant. But the Bible says that the thing is, when you see something like that, and with the sneer and all, just step back and don't get involved in any way, because they always undo themselves.
Yes.
And we're seeing that right now in our country. They're arrogant and ignorant folk are undoing themselves, and we don't have to get any of their mess on us. We're just supposed to witness it. But
Amazing.
know with discernment that is what's
That's right.
going on. And nobody has any damn discernment.
That's right.
That's what's missing.
You're absolutely right. 100%.
I'm a grandmother, and I know, okay? I know everything. I know how to raise little children. I do, and I do it. And I am just sick of people not listening to me and doing what I tell them to do, because if they would do that, it would win.
We, here at my nonprofit organization, we hold seminars or meetings for women only.
Oh, good.
Sometimes for men only, and then everybody together. We're putting together an event right now for men and women, and these women hopefully like to hear the truth. You should come and speak there.
Okay.
Would you come?
Oh, hell yeah. I'd love to tell men what I think of them
Oh, okay.
and see if they're man enough to take it.
Well, we'll let you know. So
Okay, I'd love to.
Okay.
I was hearing about your nonprofit because I just think it sounds great that you're advising people on how to bring economic freedom into their own life.
Yes.
That's really good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's called Barr, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. And for 28 years, we've been rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. And that means loving what's right. The man's supposed to lead. They also, I believe, should be in business. They need to be entrepreneurs.
Yes, absolutely.
And so we tutor, we counsel, we
That's
have a
freedom,
home for young
isn't it?
men.
That's a real freedom.
I grew up that way. And so we started this academy, Entrepreneur Academy out of Barr, and we're showing these guys how to start their own businesses.
That's great.
We bring in speakers to answer whatever question they might have. And we also have a credit union. We had to start
that's
a
the
credit
key.
union. Yeah.
Credit union is the key. Community credit union.
Right, because they don't have credit, so we have to loan them the money.
That is so great.
28 years of it.
Good for you.
Isn't that
That's so
something?
revolutionary, right, and good.
It's working out well. I told you about Joel.
Mm-hmm.
He started his own thing. He started a dance academy,
Really?
and he's black. I got to ask you this.
I have to tell you, I'm a hell of a dancer, just so you know.
Are you?
Yes, sir.
Wow, amazing. So I got
And singer. I've been singing again.
You have? I didn't know you could sing.
I know.
I saw you sing one time.
Uh-huh.
Remember that?
Yeah, that was an error.
Were you like,
I was trying to, I was a told people pleasing idiot. The picture
that was
of that
amazing
team,
to see you do that.
That picture on that team, he's like, hey, after you're done, you should scratch yourself and spit like we do. So I'm like, hey, because I'm an idiot. So I'm like, oh, that sounds funny.
Oh, Lord. Were you joking around when you did it?
Yeah, I meant to be joking around. But then, as soon as I started, the thing was, I started too high. That was a whole problem. And then I knew about 5 notes in that I wasn't going to be able to do it. And I was like, am I going to stop and start again? I can't be like, excuse me, all you 100,000 people, we got to start. So I just knew I was dead. So I tried to make it funny.
It was funny.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was funny.
I think it's funny too. My grandkids just pee themselves laughing at it. Is that wrong?
I think if most people don't take things so seriously, they would have thought it was funny too. Because it was funny.
Joan Rivers asked me, she goes, if you had been a man and done that, everyone would have laughed. And then I thought about Borat doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Like 15 years after me. And they're all like, ah, ha, ha. And me, I have to hire LAPD to stand on my roof with guns. But they're like, ah, oh, that's funny. Original,
amazing.
very original. On my,
I got to ask you, you said that you are a Jew, right?
Uh-huh.
You don't look like a Jew. Are you like a real Jew or are you usher into Judaism?
I did my DNA. I'm 100% Jew.
Really?
100%. 99.999.
Have you
from
always
North
been a Jew
Africa.
or were you a Christian at one time?
No, I was born Jew.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Amazing. What is it like being a Jew?
I'm so glad you asked. It's difficult right now and frightening right now. It's very scary. And talk about mind control.
Right.
And, they're all on an anti-Semite program, and it's very frightening, and I feel like I have to do something about it for my people, and so I'm going to.
Yeah.
And I am. It's not right. But to be a Jew in my body, in my life, it is such a joy. It is a wonderful...
To be a Jew.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's joyous and fulfilling, and it's sweet.
When you were growing up as a little girl, did you know you were a Jew then?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? How come we... Why didn't we hear about this before now? Because I seen you in so many other interviews years ago, right?
I always talk about it.
Oh, yeah?
I was a little girl, and I grew up in an apartment house that my grandparents owned that was inhabited by survivors of Auschwitz, that my grandparents sponsored 50 families to come over from the camps after the war was over. And so I grew up in an apartment house with people who had numbers on their arms. And
that's amazing.
every Friday night on Shabbat, we would have our Shabbat dinner with all the people in the apartment house. And that's where I started entertaining, because I was like 3 and I wanted to sing and dance and make people laugh. And my grandma had the windowsill seat thing.
Right.
So I used to go up in the windowsill thing, and I do my Shirley Temple impressions,
That's amazing.
And everybody would applaud, and I figured out very early, 3 or so, man, I like people when they're sitting out there applauding. I'm scared of them if they come too close, but you know, that's a perfect relationship for me, is making people laugh and think and,
Yeah.
you know, cry too.
Well, it's
And
worked
so
very well.
I wanted to always be that person. And I really, my family were big liars. And they said to me always, you are better than Shirley Temple. And, you know, and so I believed it.
Yeah.
They go, you're cuter than her. My mom, I got frizzy hair in real life. And so my mom would put on rags and a hot roller thing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I could have my Shirley Temple ringlets. And I really did think I was better talented than Shirley Temple till I went out in the real world. And then I was so mad that they had lied to me. It was all
But no,
wrong.
you've done well in that. I mean, you've been through a lot, but
Thank
you're very
God,
funny.
thank God,
And
thank you.
speaking of that, you had the #1 show recently, and ABC fired you over that tweet.
Yeah.
So you tweeted this thing out one night about Jarrett, that woman.
It was about the Iran deal, and let me say
Right.
this. It was
Valerie Jarrett,
It
yeah.
was 3 months of discussing the People's Revolution, the woman's revolution in
Right.
Iran. 3 months. I was on there day and night, and they took one sentence out of that entire tweet storm
Yeah.
where other people were involved, including reporters in Iran, and they mischaracterized that tweet
course.
and just threw dirt on my name and took my life's work away from me, and then continued to disparage me, and they still do.
Yeah.
And of course I was like, we talk about God, well, we didn't get to that yet, but I'm sure we will.
We will.
Yeah. But it was terrifying. It was like
I was going to ask you.
it was like being a little girl where they would tell their stories of, the things they had gone through in Germany. It was just like that in my mind.
Amazing.
It was like, oh my God, they're calling me a racist,
Yeah.
and I'm a Jew with North African roots.
Yeah.
And my whole life I fought for civil rights, and I ran for president in 2012.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
I remember, yeah.
As the representative of the Black Caucus of
Yeah.
the Green Party, and they
They use this. I didn't realize they use the same lettering.
insulted also all of my black fans and all of my black family and all of my black friends. They insulted them too,
Yeah.
as well as the people who watched the show, because they really wanted to call a Trump supporter a racist.
They did.
That's all
Absolutely.
it's about.
It was a political statement. It was not a racist statement.
In any way, it was not
And-
racial.
but they
and plus,
pretend
I
that
thought
it
she
was.
white. I thought she was Persian.
I didn't even know she was black, to be honest. I did too. I thought she was Persian or something, not even black.
And plus, she was. Another reason is, this is going to get me in a boatload of trouble, but she was a slumlord in Chicago.
I'm not surprised.
I thought. Then I thought, my God, you got to apologize to white people for thinking that it was a white slum owner when it wasn't.
And it wasn't a white. It was
And
amazing.
her slum owning was so bad, Jesse, that the state took her slum away from her.
Wow.
That's bad.
And that wasn't all over the news, the way they put this thing
Nor
about
was
you.
it that she worked for the Federal Reserve. That wasn't on the news either.
Yeah. What they accuse us of is
It's
what they're
they
doing.
do. Yeah, exactly.
It's so amazing.
And then these people, and here's the mind-blowing thing, because I was going to talk to you about your bond thing. My whole career, I've always been fighting to get black writers in those writers' rooms.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't believe, and I've written about it too in books that I've written, you wouldn't believe the, what's the word where they say no, no, no. So that's why I don't agree with you that it's post-racist, because I was in Hollywood and I've seen it. And I try to get black writers in there. I say, but we're talking about a working class of people that's heavily populated by people of color. It's not just, hillbillies,
Yeah.
like their view of things. And I was right in the middle of fighting for them to hire black writers and to do the second season about racial politics in America.
So this was
when
on
they
your
called
last.
me a racist.
Wow.
And I'm really mad.
Yeah.
I can't get rid of it, but I'm sublimating into trying to do something bigger and better for children of the world. That's
Right on.
my cause.
It was their loss. That show is going to hell in a handbasket right now. It's not working. So it was their loss, not yours.
Well, it
But-
was my loss because they were my ideas that, I sat there for 20 years
But
going,
you could
if
start
I
your
ever
own
came
thing.
back, what would people be doing in this family?
Yeah.
So that was 20 years of me thinking and putting my sweat and blood into what would it be when they came back.
But you could take that now and create your own show.
I
and
know.
own it
People
and do
were
it.
telling me, somebody said, you should do a new Roseanne show and say all your family was killed by illegal aliens.
That's right.
But-
Absolutely. But here's what I want to know. So that night you tweeted out this tweet.
Yeah,
And
it
you
was
went to
weird.
bed,
No, I was in bed.
and
I
then-
was asleep.
And then you wake up the next morning, all hell is breaking loose. What was your first thought and feeling? What did you think right away?
Well, my boyfriend was there, and so he saw it all. And my son too. I tweeted when I woke up. They had said that I was the racist thing, and I tweeted back. I didn't know it was a big deal yet. I said Muslim is not a race
Yeah.
because I didn't know she was black.
Right.
And then you could have knocked me over with a feather
I
when
bet.
they found out, and I was like, oh my God, I've stepped in some mud now, some stinky stuff.
Yeah.
And, but it wasn't like that too much. It was like I was asleep and I got awakened, what's the word? And it was like, put your fingers on that computer and type this. It was like not even me.
Yeah.
And it was like important that I did it. And so I did it, and then I was thinking, man, you have made a Q-like sentence that holds a lot of nuance. And then when they came down on me the next day, I was just already so shook up. I was so shaken because they were saying that it was.
I know.
They reduced it to the most common
They sure did.
denominator of idiocy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't say anything like that.
No.
And then shortly thereafter, people started tweeting pictures of Valerie Jarrett next to, I forget her name, that Helena Bonham Carter, who was the character in that movie, which happens to be my favorite movie. Now I can never talk about it, I guess. But it is my favorite movie because Rod Serling wrote it, and to me, always, it was about the Jews.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's my favorite movie, about when you deny your slaves the ability to read.
The Father's Day has new merchandise available. Every purchase goes right back to the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mama Mia, hola, sí, senor. Get off that stage, boy. Quit monkeying around. The Father's Day is amazing.